Good morning.
Good morning and welcome to Media Pulse, the show where we help you make sense of Thai politics.
This week we'll start with the ongoing border dispute between Thailand and Cambodia. I think we can say that Thailand can claim superiority over Cambodia in almost every aspect, be it in the economy, infrastructure, or technological advancement. And the recent border clashes between two countries have only reinforced Thailand's far greater military capability compared to its much smaller eastern neighbor. But I'm sure that there is one thing that Thailand can hardly boast about vis-a-vis Cambodia.
Okay.
That is the popularity of its government of the day, as far as what we have seen in the media suggests.
Yeah, the numbers are not looking good, is it? The most recent poll by the National Institute for Development Administration, or NIDA, it is an opinion poll. And this is a very widely respected research institute. It only serves as a confirmation to what you have said earlier. So normally when a country is in a state of war or in the middle of a crisis, its population has little choice but to trust the government in power. But not Thailand, as things stand today, right?
The poll conducted in the first week of August found out that less than 5%, 4.66% to be exact, of the respondents have confidence in the Paetongtarn government in handling the country's conflict with Cambodia. And of course, as we all know, the conflict erupted into an intense exchange of fire across the border in late July. The clashes, which lasted 5 days, claimed heavy casualties on both sides of the border before the two countries agreed to a ceasefire brokered by Malaysia.
Yeah, the number is a bit embarrassing, isn't it? That means 95.34% doesn't trust the government at the moment. But anyway, Thai authorities believe that Cambodia agreed to the ceasefire agreement only because it was outgunned and was already looking for a way out. But the Paetongtarn government was not given the credit. As the NIDA poll shows, receiving the kudos was the military instead. And that explains why the NIDA poll shows that as many as 75% of its respondents placed their confidence in the military in facing the threat from Cambodia.
And diplomacy was not something that most Thais believe played a role in bringing about the ceasefire. That's why only 4% of the respondents in the NIDA poll expressed confidence in the role of the foreign ministry. And this marks a significant drop in the level of confidence that the Thai public have in both the government and the foreign ministry compared to the results of a similar poll conducted by the same institute in June this year.
Well, luckily, it's only an opinion poll, not exam results. Because if it's exam results, you're going to get scolded by your parents, right?
Definitely.
In that poll, the military also received far higher marks for its performance in dealing with the border disputes with Cambodia. But in Cambodia, the mood of the people toward the government of Prime Minister Hun Manet is the complete opposite, at least as reflected by the mainstream and social media there.
We have to emphasize that there have been no reliable or independent public opinion polls on the government's popularity in that country, Cambodia.
True.
And the Cambodian media, as we all know, are tightly controlled, with the population enjoying virtually no freedom of expression. And that is why there has been virtually no opposition to what the government is doing as far as its disputes with the Thai government is concerned.
Yeah, the Cambodian media, therefore, have often been full of praises from the people supporting the Hun Manet government's handling of the disputes with Thailand. The admiration also extends to the role of the Cambodian strongman Hun Sen, the Prime Minister's father, who is seen as the de facto leader of the country because of his immense power behind the scenes. And opinion pieces and analyses by experts and academics glorifying both the father and the son have become a common feature in the mainstream media as well.
Now, in Thailand, by contrast, you mostly see commentary in the media critical of Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra and her father, Thaksin, who, like Hun Sen, is the one who calls the shot in the country. So many people believe that Thaksin has a big say on how his daughter's government handles the affairs with Cambodia. And looking back, why tens of thousands of people took to the streets in Bangkok last month to call for Paetongtarn's ouster, equally large number of Cambodians also rally in Phnom Penh, but to support their government's actions in border disputes with Thailand.
Exactly. Even before the border disputes, right, the approval ratings of the Paetongtarn government and of Paetongtarn herself as Prime Minister were already in tatters due to largely the deteriorating economic problems and failure to deliver their campaign promises. And it didn't help that her Shinawatra family has close ties with the ruling Hun family of Cambodia. So Paetongtarn and her father have been having difficulties addressing questions of conflicts of interest when it comes to Cambodia.
And of course, her disastrous phone conversation with Cambodian strongman Hun Sen in June dealt her a very severe blow, plunging her approval rating down to as low as 9%. Overnight, she became a subject of criticisms and ridicule in both mainstream and social media.
Yeah.
And political observers believe that because of the phone call, Paetongtarn no longer has the trust of the Thai people. In her conversation with Hun Sen, Paetongtarn criticized an army regional commander who is widely admired by Thai people for his no-nonsense reactions to hostile acts by Cambodian forces. She also asked for sympathy from Hun Sen for the pressure she said she was facing from the Thai people as a result of the Thai-Cambodian dispute.
Yeah, one political analyst made a comment on this, and they said, do you think those in the military would want to tell the Paetongtarn government what their plans are in dealing with Cambodia? They no longer trust it. And that's what he says. So in short, Paetongtarn and her father are being seen by critics as being the enemies within.
And in the eyes of most political analysts, the first step that needs to be taken for Thailand to be able to resolve its dispute with Cambodia is for Paetongtarn to get out of the way.
Oh.
And so for many people, the ruling by the Constitutional Court later this month will determine not only Paetongtarn's political fate, but also how soon the conflicts between the two countries will be resolved.
That is a very interesting link there. Speaking of the Constitutional Court, Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra, who is currently suspended from duty, is scheduled to appear before the court on August 21st for a hearing in the leaked telephone conversation with the Cambodian Senate President Hun Sen. So the case, which the court's decision is expected on August 29th.
Paetongtarn is being accused of lacking evident integrity and seriously violating or failing to adhere to ethical standards from the content of that phone conversation she had with Hun Sen. Yes, basically it was the same accusation that former Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin faced for appointing a former convict as a cabinet member.
That says a lot about ethical standards in Thai politics these days, because many politicians are facing that charges. So interestingly, August 21st also coincides with her birthday. And if you remember, in our previous episodes, we did mention the reports that some famous astrologers are saying that on her birthday, once the birthday passes, the star sign will change and her luck could turn for the better.
And you may not believe it, I mean, Thai politicians, many of them anyway, and maybe Paetongtarn is included, are very superstitious.
Remember the first day that she went into office? Like, she actually changed the date because of the auspicious hours or something. But anyway, back to the phone conversation with the Cambodian strongman Hun Sen. Here are some excerpts to help you recap how and why many see it as a disastrous political and diplomatic faux pas. So quote number 1, here we go. I don't want uncle to listen to people from the opposite side, because when he listens to people from the opposite side, like the commander of the 2nd Army Region, they belong to the opposite camp. I don't want him to feel displeased or angry, because it is never our intention.
And the uncle she was referring to was
Hun Sen.
Uncle Hun Sen.
Yeah. There's another quote. She said, At the moment, that side wants to show off, referring to the commander of the Second Army region. And they will say things that are not useful to our countries. We actually want to see peace like before that clash at the border.
The case against Paetongtarn was initiated by 36 senators who submitted a petition through the Senate President, requesting the Constitutional Court to rule if Thailand's 31st Prime Minister, that is Paetongtarn, lacks evident integrity and seriously fails to adhere to ethical standards.
Yeah, the group of senators claimed the conversation shows an inappropriate personal relationship, suggesting that Paetongtarn aligned herself with the Cambodian interest and was willing to comply with Cambodia's wishes while viewing Thailand's Second Army Region commander as being on the opposite side. That's a key word. People are not happy about it. So Paetongtarn explained later on, actually, in a press conference, that it was her negotiation tactic, but it didn't help much. And her father, the former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra, even tried to soften the blow by saying on stage during one of his many talks that Prime Minister Paetongtarn was actually a victim of trickery.
And in her formal defense statement to the Constitutional Court, and which was leaked to the media this week, Paetongtarn reiterated that what she said in her phone conversation with Hun Sen was meant to protect Thailand's interests, and that nothing that she said caused damage to the country in any way. So that was, and that is her basic defense line against all the accusations against her.
No damage done. So
don't forget that her critics accuse her of selling out the country, or at least selling out the general who was trying to protect the countries from foreign invasion.
Yeah, exactly. So it depends on the definition of the word damage that she is talking about, isn't it? So as for Thaksin, he is also awaiting a criminal court's decision on his lèse majesté charge on August 22nd. So that's exactly a week before Paetongtarn's ruling. Also is the anniversary of his return to Thailand after self-exile. So for Thaksin, the court will determine if the interview he gave on South Korean television back in 2015 violates Article 112 of the Criminal Code. If so, a lèse majesté offense carries a penalty of 3 to 15 years in prison. But it is very rare that anyone would serve the maximum of 15 years. Usually people get royal pardon somewhere along the line.
So anyway, back to Paetongtarn. The prospect of her being dismissed for the content of the phone conversation with the Cambodian strongman has sparked speculation not only within the political circle but also in every conversation.
People are talking about it.
That's the talk of the day now. And of course many people are wondering if she will resign prior to the court ruling or not. Remember, in the case of former Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin, the charge of breaching integrity and ethical standards against him was related to the appointment as cabinet member Kun Pichit Chunban, a lawyer of the Shinawatra family and a former convict. Pichit actually decided to resign from his post before the court issued a ruling. So the court eventually decided to drop the case against him and instead would take up only the case against Kun Srettha,
who appointed
the
snack box lawyer.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. So would it be possible that if Paetongtarn chooses to resign from her position beforehand, the court may dismiss the case similar to the case of Pichit Chunban? That remains to be seen. But members of the Pheu Thai party and the party's Secretary General, Sarawong Tiantong, have denied reports that Prime Minister Paetongtarn is preparing to resign from her position ahead of the Constitutional Court ruling.
The ongoing political dilemma for Paetongtarn may not be that easy to deal with, and her party, Pheu Thai party, is aware of that.
Yeah.
So if the astrologers are correct, saying that things will get better for her after her birthday, right?
Yeah, if you do believe.
She may be found not guilty and therefore resumes her political office for the time being.
Yeah.
Why do we say for the time being? Because even if she's dismissed from the case, that is not the end of the story yet.
Yeah.
Because the petition on her phone conversation with Hun Sen is also with the Anti-Corruption Commission. So that would be another hurdle for her. That means after the Constitutional Court,
If she passes that,
if she passes that
hurdle,
there is another hurdle waiting for her. That is the
NACC.
Anti-Corruption Commission, which has also taken up the case against her.
Yes. And there's another scenario. What if she gets dismissed by the Charter Court or decides to resign before the court's decision? The Pheu Thai party will have to resort to that contingency plan, and that is their only prime ministerial candidate, Mr. Chai Kasem Nitisiri, the former Attorney General. So Chai Kasem had actually suffered from heat stroke during the election campaign about 2 years ago, and it made it difficult for him to walk steadily. But he actually claims that he has recovered and still plays golf now. And back in the beginning of July, he also told reporters that he is physically fit and ready to assume the premiership if Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra decides to step down or is removed from the post.
So for the fans of Thai politics, here are some of the red letter days for the coming 2 weeks, right? Okay. August 21st will be the day that Paetongtarn is supposed to appear before the Constitutional Court for a hearing.
Yeah.
But she doesn't have to be there if she doesn't want to.
She may
right?
or may not appear, yeah.
And then the next day, August 22nd, a very important day for former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra. The criminal court will issue a ruling on the lèse majesté charge against him. And August 29, this is the very, very big day, and I'm sure that's a day that a lot of Thai people will be looking forward to. Yeah. That is the day that the Constitutional Court will decide on Paetongtarn's political fate, whether or not she will stay as Prime Minister or she will be dismissed.
Yeah, and that's to do with the audio conversation with Hun Sen, isn't it?
Yeah.
Also, the August 21st is her birthday, so it's birthday celebration before the court's decision.
So that will also, show whether or not all the astrologers are right.
Yeah,
in making prediction that things will get better after her birthday.
Exactly. Anyway, we'll bring that to you as it happens with Media Polls plus explanation. I hope you enjoyed the program. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Okay. Have a good weekend.
See you next week.
Bye.